Right, tonight though, Austria will get their Euros campaign started in Dusseldorf. They take on the tournament favourites France, one of the tournament favourites you have to say. And to help us build up to that, I'm delighted to say that we're joined by the Watford and the Austria goalkeeper Daniel Bachmann. Good to see you, Daniel. We've got to start with the fact that you potentially could have been there, so mixed emotions. And how are you feeling watching?
Yeah, it's different obviously to 3 years ago, but I guess that's football, you know, you can't. Doesn't always go your way, but yeah, I'm excited for tonight, and obviously in a different position, but I'm looking forward to it.
How was that conversation when you found out you weren't going?
Well, I spoke to the goalkeeping coach, and you know, I'm a person that just try to take things as well as I can, and obviously I wish them all the best, and you know, don't have to agree with everything, but yeah, you know, I've got a really good relationship with the goalie coach, and to be fair also with the manager, so it's you know, it's just one of those things that didn't go my way this time, but hopefully in 2 years' time I'll be on the plane to America.
Yeah, just to make it clear, it's not the end of your international career at all, is it?
No, definitely not. I'm turning 30 next month, so
no age.
My target's to go to America in 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck with that. Look, how will they be feeling though ahead of this one? It's a big game, isn't it, really, for them to start the campaign?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously it's even bigger playing against France, arguably. You know, with England the biggest favourites of the tournament, so it's that makes it that extra bit more special. But yeah, for me, obviously, I haven't played in it 3 years ago, and on the other side, I haven't played a lot of games in the league and cups and other national team games. It does feel different, you know, when you stand in the tunnel walking out for that first group game. Firstly, because you're standing there for ages, you've got to be in the tunnel way earlier than any other game.
Yeah.
Which adds to the nerves. But yeah, I've got to be honest, I was nervous before that game, so I'm sure a couple of the lads who haven't been to the one 3 years ago will feel a similar way this evening. So yeah, but it's an amazing experience, and yeah, I can't wait to watch the game.
What goes through your mind? You know, you say the nerves. What is going through your mind? Are you sort of checking on your performance, how you want to see the game? What do you go through?
It's different to a league game because, you know, it's your whole nation that's expecting.
Yeah, no pressure, just the whole
exactly.
nation.
It's the whole nation, and obviously, you know, with Austria we're quite a small country.
Yeah.
But it's still 8.5 million people, so it is a different kind of pressure than playing for your club, and you know, obviously then you walk out, you've got the anthems, and then it starts getting a little bit emotional because it's such a special thing to represent your country at an event like this. But yeah, once the anthem's done, then it all calms down because you know, right, it's go time now. So, you know, then the focus comes back, and you know, the nerves start to settle. But yeah, it's just an amazing feeling.
What will it be like for them tonight against France? Do you think that's a good thing to kind of get up to speed quickly, you know, go up against one of the tournament favourites?
Yeah, I mean, in football, you've got to take it how it comes anyway. You know,
yeah,
they've got no choice, so they've got to play them tonight. But I think you'd rather play France first than last in the group, potentially needing something out of the last game. So, yeah, I mean, they've got an incredibly difficult task ahead of them, that's for sure. I mean, they've got so much quality all over the pitch, and obviously they've got Mbappe, who is arguably the best player in the world right now. But
he's
also,
quite good, isn't he, old Mbappe?
Yeah, he can cause some problems, but he's not the only one. That's the problem Austria have got. You know, you can't just focus on him and trying to stop him, because then they've got Dembele, they've got Griezmann, they've got Kolo Muani. There's so many players everywhere across the pitch that they have to, you know, protect and try and defend against. But then also when they have the ball, they need to make the most of the chances they get. So it'll be an interesting game.
Talk us about the fact that they won't be with Alaba tonight. How much of a disappointment is that for Austria? Yeah,
he's Austria's best footballer, you know, in history. So it's obviously a massive miss, not just from the footballing quality, also the mentality. I mean, he's a serial winner. He's won everything there is to win in club football, and multiple times. So he knows what it takes to win games. He knows what it takes to win titles. So that is a big miss. I know that he's there with the coaching staff, you know, to support the lads. But another big miss is Xaver Schlager. He's a big miss as well. He's done his cruciate a couple of months ago, which goes a bit under the radar, but he's very important for the team. But yeah, those two players will be a miss. But over the last few years, Austria have kind of built a bit of a reputation of bringing good talent through, and obviously we've done really well, you know, decent enough in the Euros 3 years ago, but since then as well kind of pushed on a little bit, and obviously a really good result over the last 18 months. And you know, they definitely don't have to hide, without a doubt, and it's not going to be a game either where they're just going to sit back and kind of hope for the best. That's definitely not going to happen.
No.
You know, I'm certain of that. So yeah, those two are massive misses, but there is enough quality to, to kind of make up for that.
We'll talk about it because a couple of names people will recognise, of course, Arnautovic and Sabitzer. Is there anyone else that you think, well, they might not know that person, but they need to keep an eye out for?
There's obviously Konrad Laimer as well, who plays for Bayern Munich week in, week out. So he's obviously very good. But then you've got a fullback, Philipp Wehner, who plays for Mainz. He'll be up against either Mbappe or Dembele, depending on which side, which side they play on. He's incredibly quick, so that'll be interesting to watch because he can definitely match them for speed. So that'll be an interesting watch. And then obviously on the wings you've got, like you mentioned, Sabitzer, Christoph Baumgartner, who plays for Leipzig as well. Be interesting to watch. It's a very young team. But yeah, for me tonight, the fullback, Philipp Wehner, will be the one to watch just because of his speed against the speed of Mbappe and Dembele will be great to watch.
All right, we'll watch out for him. It is a tough group, though, isn't it? You've got Netherlands and Poland as well as France. Do you see them going through as qualifiers, as third best, or do you see them pipping somebody and getting second?
It is an incredibly tough group, but I think the way the new format is as well over the last couple of Euros, that you pretty much need one win to go through. One win is usually enough, and they can certainly get that. I mean, they can certainly get that one win, and then obviously they have to hope that that's enough, which it should be. But yeah, like I said, Austria don't have to hide. There's no, it's not like Austria have got a decent name over the last few years, so I feel like it still goes under the radar a little bit, but I think we're better than expected, or better than, because we're such a small nation and you know us for skiing and going down slopes and not playing football. But I feel like we've built a small reputation that's growing.
Yes.
And I'm positive that they'll make it out of the groups.
Let's talk about one player that hasn't made a good start. It's your Watford teammate, Ryan Porteous. Yeah. How will he feel? I actually saw him in training the other day, and he looked a forlorn figure, actually, after what happened. Yeah,
it's tough. And honestly, when I watched it happen on Friday night, I felt it upset me a little bit because I'm really close with him, and it's a tough one to take. And it upset me just because, not just from a footballing point of view, but from a friend's point of view as well. It was tough to watch. But I know him well enough to know that he won't bother him at all. He knows it's part of the game. What's happened, and he had to make a tackle there. Unfortunately, he was too aggressive.
It was a rash one, yeah.
It was a bit of a rash one, and obviously there's no denying that it was a red card.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know him well enough to know that he'll be fine, and I hope I'm not sure how it works with the suspensions, how many games you get in the Euros, but I hope he gets to play again in this tournament.
Yeah, he will, if they go further, you think. What about Steve Clarke? Because you worked under him, didn't you, at Kilmarnock?
Did, yeah.
How will he be feeling? How does he sort of cope with... I mean, it was a heavy defeat, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think from how I got to know him, I don't think there's a lot that phases him. He's a very calm personality. He's very... I wouldn't say an introvert, but he's very quiet and calm. But when he walks in the room, everyone knows he's there, and it's like, right, the gaffer's here. It's quite impressive the way he handles that without being vocal and loud, which speaks a lot for his personality and also, the way he takes a team in general. So I don't think, of course there will be some conversations had over the last couple of days and also the next days before the game, but I don't think, well, certainly he won't panic at all. He knows that game's gone now. There will be some words exchanged and have to be after such a performance because it just wasn't good enough from a Scotland point of view. But they know they've got 2 more games that they have to get something from. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll get their chances against Switzerland and Hungary. It's
interesting you talk about him because, from what we see in the media, he goes out on the front foot. The other day he sort of called his media duties early so that Steve Clarke could kind of talk to the media. I think after the game he didn't really want to talk, but then he sort of brought it back. I think there was hugs all round for people. So what's he like? Is he an arm around, or is he quite a fierce manager? I think he's a bit of both. I only worked for him for a season, unfortunately, but in that season I think he's very good in realising what people need. If there's a player that needs, kick up the backside, he'll give it him. Yeah. And if it's somebody that just needs a cuddle and a hug, he's there for that as well, which makes him a really good manager. And that's why he's obviously been very successful with Scotland. And, I think it works perfect for him, obviously the setup with him being Scottish, obviously. And
the way it works as an international manager with the time in between to analyse players and also see what players need and getting to know them over time rather than quickly and be like, right, this is what I need to do now. He's got quite a bit of time over years, obviously, with qualifiers and then going into a championship, because playing a qualifying campaign is different than being an actual championship. But yeah, no, he's got both ways. He knows, that's what I learned from him, or he knows what everybody needs. He doesn't treat everybody the same. He knows what people need to perform the best.
OK, what about Tom Cleverley then? Because obviously he's now permanent at Watford, your new boss as such. How impressed have you been with him? Yeah,
I'm not surprised at all, because his footballing IQ is incredibly high. You could tell that from when I played with him.
Yeah.
And I think he's been fantastic since he's come in, not just from a sporting point of view, just on a human level as well, which I think is very, very important. At that level that we're playing at, the human side of things are equally as important as the tactical side of things, of how you deal with egos and how you deal with different personalities.
Well, because he's only just stopped playing, really, hasn't he? He's 34. He's only 4 years older than yourself.
I've played with him for 5 seasons. It's
what's that like for him to then suddenly
shows that I'm getting on a bit as well. But yeah, no, it's been great work with him. Obviously, like you mentioned, he's only just retired and kind of been thrown in at the deep end really quickly. And but yeah, I think it helps him in a way, because he still knows quite a few of the players in the team right now.
Right.
And also because he's so recent, his playing times have just come to an end recently. He knows exactly what people need, how players these days want to be treated and need to be treated, because it's different than it was even when I was a young player 10 years ago. It's a lot more love needed these days. And he knows that, because firstly he knows a lot of the players in our team, but I think in general in football he understands, how he needs to handle players that I'm playing at the moment, because they're equally as important as the players that are playing, because you're going to need all of us. And he's very, very good at that. And probably because he's only just retired, and he knows and he understands what's needed at any given time. So the fixtures, I think, are coming out a week tomorrow. How hopeful are you then, just finally, for the new season? Because I guess last season was a little bit disappointing, you'd have to say. Yeah, that's an understatement, I think. Yeah, it was very disappointing, but that's football. Football's a roller coaster, and obviously we all wanted to go back to the Premier League, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. But the season starts again. Obviously we're back in pre-season next Monday. Then we've got 5 or 6 weeks. I know. That comes around quick, excuse me. I know, it comes around quick, yeah. But yeah, we're obviously looking forward to it, and we know what the Championship is like. We know it's anyone's, so we've just got to try and be up there at the end of the season. Oh, look, it's been lovely to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for having me. Good luck for the next season. Thank you.